few words about why I am the jazz video guy. Let's go all the way back to the beginning. How did I get into jazz? What was it about jazz that captured me? Well, two things: the music and the people who created it. Even as a kid at a very early age, there was something about this music that really reached out to me, that grabbed me. One man certainly stood out and got my attention every time he performed on television. His name was Louis Armstrong. I saw a movie called The Five Pennies, the story of trumpeter Red Nichols. Louis Armstrong on television was magic, but Louis Armstrong up on a big screen just grabbed me, made me want to get up there, and that carries forth to this day, which has informed my life in terms of the work that I do. First as a jazz journalist for many years, for Downbeat and Jazz Times and liner notes and all kinds of stuff. But I think more importantly, for the jazz video guy thing that I've been doing since 2006 on YouTube, because it's my appreciation for, my love of, my knowledge of this music and the people who've played it that have allowed me to do what I do. I didn't know the musicians in those days, but I got a sense of them. And it was really when I moved to New York in 1968 to go to NYU Film School that I started going to the Vanguard and hanging out in the kitchen. That's when I really got a behind-the-scenes look at who the musicians were and what their lives were about. And what struck me about them initially was the way that they communicated with each other, the hipness, the humor, the love. I found their stories to be fascinating. I went to NYU Film School. I studied with Martin Scorsese. I worked in documentaries and industrials. But once I got published as a jazz journalist, I could have put my filmmaking aside for a minute, and the minute turned out to be like 30 years. Now, something happened that brought me back into the world of video when I was producing websites for jazz musicians. In 2004, I was contacted by Telarc Records. They were going to do a recording with the Saxophone Summit, my friends David Liebman, Joe Lovano, and Michael Brecker. They wanted an interview on video with the members of this group. So they set me up with a crew at the 2004 IAJE convention in New York. 6 months later, they sent me the EPK, the promotional video that included clips of my interview, and it was horrible. And I felt bad because these were my friends and I knew that they deserved more. I knew that their music deserved more. So it was one of those moments in life when the light bulb goes off and I said, I can do better than this. What's different from when I stopped making films and when I started again in 2004, 2005 was that there were now mini DV camcorders and one could edit video on a computer. I got an inexpensive camcorder. I got some software. My first project, Blue Note Records used it on their website and on Joe's website. And that's how it began. And then I started to shoot some stuff with Sonny and then Billy Taylor. And then in March of 2006, YouTube arrived. To put jazz on the web, I need a name that says it immediately and that's easy to remember. So my grandson, who I guess was 7 at the time, said, Jazz Video Guy.
Jazz transcends life and death as we know it on this planet.
One thing that's remained consistent through my life is the music. It's something that I can always count on. It's something that I understand, something that makes sense to me. Not much in this life does, but this music makes sense to me. There's a certain logic to it, a certain passion, a certain emotional content that reaches me, can always reach me. It's like my medicine. It's like my inspiration. And it's something that is very much a part of who I am. It informs my thinking, it informs my feelings, it informs my modus operandi. I'm not driven by money in this case. I somehow managed to scrape a living together doing this. For many people in America, what's really prized is fame and fortune. And I have fame. I have people all over the planet watching my videos. What really matters to me is the music and my creativity. And as long as I'm breathing, that's what I'm going to be doing.